What's going on? We are live. We are live. Welcome, 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 you guys. Today, what I'm going to go over with you is we're going to discuss how exactly you can easily find out what's your percentage, what's your cut, how much money you can make working particular states. Now, I want to go ahead and caution you all with this. Just because a state is willing to pay you out more money, like more percentage of a deal you will find doing tax surplus or state funds, that does not necessarily equal you're going to have a better time working with that state. Some states are slow at paying out. Right now, as this video is being made, I would say California is very slow. Texas is actually pretty fast. I heard Florida is getting a little blacked up as well. So you just got to understand it just depends on like the impact that COVID had on certain states, and if people went down to minimum manning, like there's all kinds of things that could have happened, and of course, like with all these people that went through a rough time and lost their homes due to COVID or all these life changes, there's just a lot of things going on with the county level and state level, and these employees, they don't get paid a ton to sit there and work overtime for nobody. Okay. They come in, they clock in, they do their job, and they go home. All right. So just because you really want it and you're working overtime because this is your business, just understand the types of people who are on the other side of the fence who are also working. And if their workload is heavy, I mean, they're just going to do what they can do and then they're clocking out. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen because this question comes up a lot. I get this question a lot. Joe, how much does this state pay out? How do I know what Nevada versus Alaska, Massachusetts versus California, and it's much easier than what you think. So I'm going to show you just a couple of different ways you can figure this out. Now, every state refers to tax surplus and overages slightly different, but what I found like a little hack to where if you type this in the search bar, specifically, and don't just rely on Google. You can use Bing, you can use any others. I know there's other search bars out there, but Google and Bing are usually like the two that I work with. But you want to learn how to use the keywords that the states could possibly use that they recognize, so you can get the websites up easily. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen real quick just so you guys can see how I do my search to make your life a heck of a lot easier. All right, so let's see. And I don't know why it's blinking like that. Let's stop blinking. I'm gonna remove that. We're gonna try this again. Here, stop screen. Sorry, guys. And I don't do edits when it comes to live videos. It just is what it is. Screen number 2. Boom. There we go. All right, we fixed it. One shot. Okay, so you can kind of see like what I got right here, but there's a couple of things you can type in. You can type in surplus, okay, locators. You can see it's already popping up. I'm sorry. Locators, finders, fee, because you are finding the surplus funds for people. So you're a surplus locator. You type that in there. Obviously it knows my area, California, but when I click here, this is for consumers. You're going to read all the content, but it says an investigator may not charge a fee greater than 10% of the value of the property returned to the owners. So that's California across the board. That's all it is. So like, and again, just read what the information that the states have on there, because every state is a little bit different. It says it's against the law for an investigator to charge a fee greater than 10%. So that means that you might try to be slick and you might even get away with it. But if this person finds out and they want to come back at you and take you to court, they can take all that money back, every penny, because you broke the law when you were doing business from them. So ignorance is not a good defense in a court of law. So you absolutely want to make sure that you're playing within the lines that the state says it's allowed. If a state says you can no longer do this as a locator, then guess what? You got to play by the laws. That's why it's always good before you start doing phone calls and you start working your lists. You want to make sure that you check the state laws. Let's try a different one. Here's a different one you can type in. Oops. Locator, finders, fee. Again, just a different way of typing it in because you might do state funds. Oops, let me do this. I'm gonna type in a different state. Just type in NV for Nevada, right? So it may state Nevada. Okay, that's actually a PDF. Just see if I can find one. Oh, these are all PDFs come from Nevada. Okay, so some I'm not still pull this up. Some states are like web pages. Looks like Nevada is all just they're all PDFs. So, how much can I charge for my services? This is the hair finders frequently asked questions. So, what if you're a unclaimed funds locator, tax surplus locator, hair locator? Like this is like mostly towards the state funds, but it does talk about this. Do you need? How do I register? There's no registration requirement for Nevada for unclaimed property. However, we advise the hair finders to contact the Nevada Secretary of State, the local city and county business license offices, to determine their registration requirements, if any. Okay, so basically they're saying every county can operate however they see fit. So whoops, let me go back over here. How much can I charge for my services? No more than 10% for properties which are paid or delivered to the administrator at least 24 months ago. Okay, so but held less than 5 years before signing an agreement, no more than 20% for properties which are paid or delivered to the administrator. 5 years or more before signing an agreement. These rates become effective October 1st, 2021. So this is very new. This is a very new Nevada Senate bill that was passed. So between 10 and 20% is what you can charge. And it says, how can I collect my fees? This is really good because you want to know, how can I get paid? Do you submit a check like the state of California, or do you send it to the person and I got to collect my check for the person? It says the collection fees is a business transaction between you and your client. The state is not a party to any, it says her, but I'm sure they meant hair finder agreements, and cannot conduct fees or send payments directly to the hair finders. So the state of Nevada is not going to send you a check directly like the state of California. Um, they're going to send it to the client that you're working with. So you need to make sure that you're okay with this. Now, can you say, like, legally, if you do a limited power of attorney and they sign saying that you can represent them and collect a fee, you can try it, and it's up to the county or who they're going to send that check to. But I would say, to be safe, that county is probably going to send it to the client. And they have filing instructions for every county. So they're probably going to put in there like whose address we're sending it to, like, all the legal stuff. And you really want to run this by an attorney. If you want to go against the grain and you want to test the waters, there's websites like LegalZoom, Rocket Lawyer. You can go on there and just pose a question. Just ask that question like, hey, we're doing a power of attorney. They're saying I can represent them and I can collect a fee for them, and I'll pay them out once I get it in the state of Nevada. Is this legal? Can we make this work? And an attorney will further dig into the laws, and they got this experience. They'll let you know, like, yes, that's legit, or they're gonna be like, no. They're going to basically deny your claim, and you have to start all the way from scratch. And that's the last thing you want to do. You do not want to look unprofessional in front of your client, not knowing what you're doing. So you want to know the laws. And again, if you want to go against the grain, or maybe it's a little vague, right? Maybe you're not going against the grain. Maybe it's just really gray. Because to me, I feel like there's a possibility working Nevada that you can potentially get the power of attorney and you collect the fees on their behalf. Power of attorneys are powerful. That's what I call the power of attorney, right? So, anyways, that's just information. Again, you can just kind of go down. This is just Nevada, but there's many states. You could do Arizona, and I think Arizona got some pretty good rates, 30%. I mean, that's huge compared to California at 10%. That's huge. And again, you want to go to their hair finder information. It lets you know like what you're allowed to do as a unclaimed property locator. And then you just work the list. But I always recommend call. Don't sit here and try to figure things out on your own. Talk to a human, because if you're going to work a state, that means you're committed to that state and the counties within that state, because that's what I do. I'll call the state, And if I'm working tax surplus, I'm going to call the county that I plan on working. I want to get information for them. I want to read the filing instructions. I want to be properly prepared and be my mindset is all week I'm working this county. I'm going to work it to death, and I'm not going to move on to another county until I completely exhausted this county. And it kind of keeps things exciting, kind of keeps things like, new and fresh for me, doing something like that. I don't really like jumping state to state to state because they're so different. I don't want to confuse myself. I don't want to be unaware, and I want to have to keep educating and slowing my day down to relearn a state's laws and regulations. Pick one and go for it. A lot of people like to pick their own states. I don't think necessarily like that's the best way to do things. I think you absolutely can pick the ones that's going to have the best return for you, the best return rate. But if you're determined to work your own state, even if it's difficult, go ahead. Maybe the most difficult states have the least competition and the least path of resistance for you. So, like it all works out at the end of the day. All right. So this is just a couple of states. Like I said, I just showed you California. I showed you Nevada. I'm showing you Arizona. There's 47 other states you guys can look up and see like how to actually work unclaimed properties. Some states will make you pay to get the list. Some states, like the state of California, you can just go there and just download your list and you can start your skip tracing activities from there. But again, if you work these hard and you do your quality checks, this is going to be a very, very well-paying, lucrative business for you. But you just got to be smart about how you go about it. One deal can be basically like someone's salary for the entire month. One deal. We're talking like 5, 10, 15, 20K off one deal or more. So like, they don't get frustrated just because you go an entire week and didn't get any sales. You go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because by that fourth week, you might close that big deal. In a business like this, you just got to make sure that you're being financially smart and savvy. And that's why I will always, always, always preach to you guys. You need to create multiple streams of income when you're doing a business or any business. Because if something is slow or, something happens in your life and you're not making a ton of money because whatever, your life is going sideways, you want to have multiple streams of income coming in. So you're never solely relying on putting all your eggs in one basket. And now like your family's suffering because business is slow. You always want to make sure you're taking care of in multiple ways, doing a business like this. All right. So anyways, made this video just to show you guys, how to, find this information easily. It's just a Google search away. If you guys have any questions, you guys know where to find me. All right. See you later.